From the Chunin exams until the end of Shippuden, the Byakugan is an extremely neglected dojutsu. With the Sharingan being given multiple upgrades and powers throughout the rest of the series, Kishimoto has neglected the Byakugan and put it completely into the background, with the Hyuga clan, which was originally introduced as a formidable opponent and rival to the Uchiha clan, being just cast into the shadows. The entire clan pretty much becoming just filler characters meant to either die or be married off to someone who's actually important. Well, at least there was one moment in the history of the Byakugan in the Naruto series where things were starting to look up, and that was with the introduction of the Otsutsuki, specifically Toneri Otsutsuki, and the main plot point of the movie, the Tenseigan, the Byakugan's response to the creation and existence of Rinnegan. And then, after all the hype was built up and he stole Hanabi's eyes, sorry, spoilers for the movie, of Naruto the Last, he just sucked. The powers of the eye, translating to roughly in English, the Reincarnation Eye, were so lame. It was literally just a ripoff of Naruto's Ninetales KCM mode. So, allegedly, the abilities of the Tenseigan were supposed to be this world-changing feat, only accomplished by the pure eyes of those descendants of Hamura on Earth, combined with those on the moon, that being Toneri and the Otsutsuki. So, it should have been something pretty amazing, like what we got when Momoshiki had to fight both Sasuke and Naruto in the Boruto movie. But instead, Naruto was able to body Toneri pretty easily with just his Ninetales KCM cloak. My man's got smashed into the moon with a silhouette. He has a whole statue on his home that is being carved out by yours truly, Uzumaki Naruto. This man has been disrespected. And, yeah, all it did was really make the Byakugan and subsequently the Tenseigan look even weaker than they already did. So, what went wrong? Well, today we're going to talk about the wasted potential of the Byakugan, including some content from the light novels and some other ideas for powers they could have used to make the Hyuga clan actually seem as formidable as they should be. Starting off, of course, with the base Byakugan. A sign of the Byakugan being activated is the veins around the user's eyes getting all swelled up specifically, which is a really good way of showing that the Byakugan is active. And also, the pupil of the Byakugan will change. Typically, the Hyugas have eye colors that match the Byakugan, so it's not like their actual color would change like the Sharingan. Instead, their pupil will instead get deeper and more vibrant, sometimes even looking golden when it's activated for a few seconds. For those of you who have forgotten, there is a user of the Byakugan whose name is Ao, a former Anbu member of the Kiryagakure's ninja corps. He was also like the right hand of the 5th Mizukage. Anyway, it's this guy. So this guy actually has a bandana eye patch thing covering his stolen Byakugan, and this helps him in that when he covers it, he can still use the Byakugan and see through it, since the Byakugan has the ability of X-ray vision, which allows him to hide his Byakugan. This is something that I feel like more Hyuga should have done. Like, I'm not saying to just block their regular vision, but the fact that your enemies can see physically when you're using the Byakugan is a major disadvantage. So I would say that to help with their sensory perception and also just for ninja things, it probably would have been beneficial if more of their members wore like blindfolds or at least covered half their face to hide the Byakugan's activation. That would have been a really good thing just for basic combat, as just a simple change to how the Byakugan could have been better without Kishimoto having to write it differently. Anyway, another main point that is just touched on in base Naruto Part 1 and then forgotten apparently is the existence of Chakra Points. The idea of Chakra Points was that within the system of chakra, like in human bodies, there were these points, like how blood vessels work in actual people, where chakra transfers through these hubs and these aura nodes, kind of Hunter x-Hunter-y, to where the ninja has to use chakra using hand seals. The Hyuga were able to just turn them off. So you could just cancel all ninjutsu, genjutsu, anything that was using chakra, just completely mess up someone's chakra system. This was used like one time and then never again. And it is really busted. A good example would be really cool is if Neji specifically, since he was like the highest potential user of the Byakugan, allegedly, It would have been really cool if Neji had mastered his air palm to where he could like do flicks, like kind of like air flicks, like Deku from My Hero Academia, to where he could like snipe someone's chakra points from far away. That would be really cool. Instead of just using the gentle fist to like give some range. Because one of the big points of the Byakugan is they can see for like 60, like 300 kilometers. They can see from like miles away. So these people are supposed to be excellent snipers, and they just don't use it. The Hyuga just do not use the Byakugan, which gives them a higher range for ranged attacks. They have eyes that give them binocular x-ray vision. They can see through buildings and walls from miles away, and they use close combat. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. So we're throwing out, well, we're not throwing out the gentle fist. That's one of the only cool things about them. They'll keep it for if they're in close range. But if I were to be rewriting the Hyuga, they are getting a long-range gentle fist. We'll call it gentle cannon or something. I don't know. Anyway, if anyone has a better name for this long-distance wind-style attack to shut off chakra points, that'd be cool. Like maybe like a sniping type of ability, that would be sick. So if Neji could have perfected that air palm to like an air bullet, that would be cool. Anyway, definitely focusing more on that anti-jutsu ability of the Hyuga. Another cool ability would be if they could destroy jutsu as it's being cast. So this is something that's talked about in the light novels. You guys can see this on like NC Hammer's channel or like any other Naruto lore videos. The Hyuga actually in the light novels were talked about being able to destroy jutsu coming at them. So because they have this apparently better vision than the Sharingan, they can like see chakra in a different way. A refined Hyuga is able to determine where the center point of a jutsu is, where all the chakra is like reciprocating. Like for example, the Rasengan forms like the center of a Rasengan. That's like the main core of it, and that's chakra spinning around that orb. That's why in Naruto's jutsu, the Rasengan is circular, is because of the nature of how the energy is moving. The Hyuga would be able to poke it, and it would just shatter because it's like taking an axle out of a wheel. This should have been in the real series. If anyone here has watched my What If Naruto Had Anti-Chakra, they basically can do that. And it is so cool, and I don't know why it didn't exist, and it would have been awesome. Just imagine if Neji was fighting like, let's say, not Naruto, because that'd be base part 1 for Naruto. Let's say Neji's fighting one of like the reanimated shinobi, and they shoot a fireball jutsu at him, and he just sticks his hand out and just pokes it. He just gentle fists it right in somewhere, and the thing just falls apart, disappears, and everyone's just stunned. That would have been so cool. But no, we don't get it. So yeah, definitely anti-jutsu techniques is a big thing. Oh, and here's another thing. Medical ninjutsu. Why do the Hyuga not specialize in it is something that is beyond me. They have x-rays for eyes. They can see all the damage. They can fix broken chakra points. Just imagine how good an 8 trigrams 64 palms would feel from a Hyuga chiropractor. My back would crack like a xylophone, okay? It would be incredible. So I'm just saying, like, if the Hyuga picked up medical ninjutsu, I think that would have been really cool. They could have had, like, chakra scalpels and used it with their techniques to, like, slash jutsus in half and been, like, sword users. It would have been cool. Anyway, moving on from the base Byakugan, so this video's not too long, we're going to the Tenseigan. The Tenseigan, as I said, is the Reincarnation Eye. That's what it is. And it has literally nothing to do with that at all. It doesn't do anything that you would think it would do. It gives you a chakra cloak, and it basically boosts your speed, and that's pretty much it. And apparently you can control the moon and throw it into the earth. If I was to redesign the Tenseigan, my first ability is that if you die, you can come back to life. I would say it's like 6 times, kind of matching the 6-pass feeling that the Rinnegan has with their 6 abilities. I would say that one of the abilities of the Reincarnation Eye to match that 6-pass power, to match Rinnegan, would be that it has the abilities of like the Izanagi, where you can just reset your death without going blind. That would be cool. So it kind of steals a little bit from Izanagi, but also falls more into its namesake. So that's one thing I'd add. The second thing that'd be really cool is because it has this whole moon and space theme, it'd be really neat if it had some sort of teleportation or maybe a spatial alteration jutsu. Like, maybe you guys know the hand from JoJo's, the ability to, like, delete space. Maybe that could be an ability of the Tenseigan, to, like, negate space between things. So instead of teleporting or flipping objects point in space, like Sasuke's Rinnegan ability or the Flying Raijin, maybe the Tenseigan has the ability to delete space between objects. So it could look like teleportation, but it would be completely different. That way they could, like, move things closer to them. Like, imagine you're in a fight, Naruto's fighting Toneri, Naruto's far away, he's about to charge up that Rasengan, making a huge tail beast Rasengan. Toneri just swipes, grabs his face, uses his Tenseigan, and bam, Naruto's right in front of him. He throws a punch, deleted, just gets sent flying. That'd be cool. So, like, some spatial alteration type stuff, that'd be pretty neat. It would give it a more use of ability. Following through with, like, that chakra negation theme I'm saying for the Byakugan, it'd be really cool if the Tenseigan had its own unique Genjutsu. So, like, the Tsukuyomi is the Sharingan's thing. Maybe we could get some sort of Genjutsu that the Tenseigan users can use. Something like Moon Relay to tie into the themes of the Tenseigan and the Hyuga. Anyway, that'd be really cool if, like, this Genjutsu was able to maybe, like, stop time for the user for a few seconds, like, help them perceive into the future. That would be kind of cool. So they could maybe cast, like, a Genjutsu on themselves that would allow them to, like, perceive into the future. That'd be pretty interesting. And then my final thing I would add to the Tenseigan to increase its potential and make it actually worth using would be, like, spirit control. So basically, the Uchiha have the Susanoo, right, where they get huge chakra avatars. My thought is to, like, to fill in this yin and yang theme and fulfill, like, that trigrams and the rotations, is instead the Tenseigan users have the ability to create, like, chakra limbs from their body, and they can use this to, like, multiply the speed and strength of their limbs. So, for example, like, think Netero from Hunter x Hunter, or Hashirama's, like, 1,000 hand Buddha. We could see Neji with a Tenseigan using his trigrams like 1,000 palms. And instead of him just spinning very quickly to make it look like he has extra hands, he literally grows, like, chakra avatar hands and has this, like, Ashura look, maybe. Kind of like Zoro from One Piece, if you get the gist. I think that'd be really cool. I think that they shouldn't just be a direct copy of the Susanoo or KCM. Something unique like that would probably give the Hyuga more of an advantage. And it also kind of builds into this theme of the moon and the yin and yang between the Sharingan and the Uchiha and the Hyuga, and the Byakugan just being its own thing. So I definitely think that would be some interesting ways to work on the wasted potential of the Byakugan. What do you guys think? If you think Himawari is going to get the Tenseigan, make sure to comment down your thoughts below. I think it would be pretty cool to see it come back in Boruto and see it expanded upon, since it was just so underwhelming. And it should have been the eye that Boruto had instead of the Jogan, which is just some weird color-swapped variant to give new toys and merchandise a purpose to exist. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this and you want to see more, like, analysis videos, I made a few before. I made one on Gohan and some other things. If you guys have any ideas for the Hyuga and, like, their Byakugan, like, what they could do, any cool thoughts, like what I've been thinking, make sure to comment those down below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.